Hello gardener, welcome to my channel. This spring season, I planted a ton of unique Asian greens and veggies, so I thought it would be a good idea to explain the differences between them, because if you've ever browsed seed catalogs or websites, you've probably come across some of these varieties without really knowing what they are. I'm going to show you the plants, compare the varieties, talk about what they taste like, and give you a few ideas on how to cook them. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, I hope this video inspires you to branch out and try growing some of these unique, delicious vegetables in your own garden. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Jara. I've been gardening all of my life and I'm a professional seed and plant nursery. I love to share my knowledge and teach others how to garden and grow food, so you've come to the right place if you want to improve your gardening skills. I personally like to explore and experiment with any kind of crops from Asia because they tend to grow very well in my subtropical Florida garden. A lot of them have high heat tolerance when traditional American crops just evaporate overnight in the heat here. Plus, it makes gardening so much more interesting because I don't know about you, but I get bored growing the same things season after season. So let me show you what I have growing. And if you need seeds, I have a bunch of them on my website. The first Asian green that I want to show you is Senopai. Senopai is a leafy green commonly grown in East Asia, though it's still relatively rare in Western gardens. It is a hybrid cross between Komatsuna, a mustard green, and cabbage. It does not form a head like cabbage. Instead, it just grows a lot of cabbage flavored leaves. It is very productive, growing lots of large, broad, tender leaves that have a cabbage-like flavor with just a hint of sweetness. A lot of gardeners rave about the flavor of Senopai, saying that it tastes better than regular cabbage. I like to toss it into stir fries or soups because Senopai isn't overly spicy. It pairs well with a variety of dishes, especially those that use regular cabbage. Next, we have Mizuna. Mizuna is a Japanese mustard green with feathery serrated leaves. Its flavor is bright, slightly peppery, and milder than other mustard greens. The attractive, frilly leaves also make for a beautiful garnish. There are several varieties. This is the regular green Mizuna, and this right here is a variety called Red Streaks. I often add Mizuna to salads for a peppery kick. It's also great when lightly sauteed or added at the end of a soup for a bit of texture and flavor. Next, we have Misome, if I'm saying that correctly. This is a hybrid from crossing Tatsoy and Komatsuna, resulting in a fast-growing leafy green that's both tender and flavorful. It is also known to be very heat tolerant. Because it's a hybrid, Misome has the best traits of both parents, Tatsoy's spoon-shaped leaves and Komatsuna's mild mustard flavor. It also stands out for its ability to adapt to various climates. It's delicious in salads or mixed into stir fries, and its mild taste means it pairs well with a variety of seasonings. Since it matures quickly, meaning you can start harvesting in about 30 days after direct sowing the seed, Misome is perfect for gardeners looking for a rapid harvest. And right next to it, it looks very similar, but it is different. This is Choho, which is another hybrid between Tatsoy and Komatsuna. It is a mustard spinach known for its tender leaves and fast growth. It has a sweet flavor that gets more intense when cooked. Choho combines the mild flavor of spinach with a subtle mustard note. Choho tends to be more heat tolerant and slower to bolt compared to other Asian greens, making it a great choice if you're gardening in a warmer region. The leaves are excellent in salads or lightly sauteed. You can also incorporate Choho into stir fries or soups for a gentle mustard flavor without overwhelming the dish. And this is my dog Teddy. Next, we have Mibuna. This is another Japanese mustard green closely related to Mizuna, but with long, narrow leaves. It has a smoother, more elongated leaf shape, and its flavor is slightly sharper than Mizuna while still being mild enough to enjoy raw. Mibuna works well in salads or quick stir fries. The stems are thin and tender, so you could easily chop them up and saute them with garlic and a touch of soy sauce. Next, we have Tatsoy, which is absolutely one of my favorite Asian greens, but mine started bolting, so I literally just pulled it out today. So I don't have it growing in this bed right now, but I do have some B-roll, and so I'll show you what it looks like. Tatsoy is a spoon-shaped dark green Asian green that grows in a compact rosette shape. It is classified as a mustard green, but in my opinion has no mustard flavor. Tatsoy leaves have a buttery texture and a mild, slightly sweet flavor. It is extremely cold hardy, which makes it a perfect addition to fall or early spring gardens. The most common variety of Tatsoy is green in color, but there is a red hybrid version as well. I love Tatsoy in soups and ramen or gently wilted in a pan with a drizzle of oil. You can also enjoy it raw in salads for a nutrient-packed green that's soft on the palate. If you're a hot climate gardener and struggle to grow spinach, I think Tatsoy is a really great heat-tolerant spinach substitute. And next we have Yukinisavoy, which is a savoyed or crinkled leaf version of Tatsoy, and I still have that growing right here. It has sturdy leaves that hold up well to cooking, and the flavor is moderately mustardy without overwhelming the dish. Because of its thick leaves, I find Yukinisavoy great for braising and stir frying. The leaves retain some texture even after extended cooking. All right, so moving to my next garden bed, I want to show you guys Komatsuna. It's kind of hard to see because of everything growing here and this T-post, but this is some red Komatsuna. Komatsuna is also called Japanese mustard spinach, but it's not a spinach. It thrives in cool weather and produces smooth, tender leaves. The taste is mild with a slight mustardy note that isn't overpowering. There are several different varieties of Komatsuna, really no real difference between them except for color. Like I said earlier, this is the red version. It is a hybrid Komatsuna, but typically the heirloom Komatsuna is green. Komatsuna is perfect for salads, stir fries, or even juiced in smoothies. It is versatile and easy to grow, making it a great first choice for newcomers to Asian greens. Moving along, right next to the Komatsuna is Taiwan swordleaf, also called a choi. This is a crisp, upright leafy green with sword-shaped leaves. It reminds me of lettuce. To me, the flavor and texture is exactly like romaine lettuce, but in a loose leaf form. It also has a higher heat tolerance when compared to regular romaine lettuce, and you don't have to wait for the head to form in the center in order to harvest. Instead, you just harvest the leaves as needed. Taiwan swordleaf lettuce can be stir-fried or added to soups. You can also enjoy it raw in salads just as you would romaine lettuce. And right here, it's kind of hard to see because again, this bed is so lush, but this is a mustard called jeogat, if I'm saying that correctly. It's a Korean mustard green that has broad leaves and a distinct flavor. I love its dark reddish purple color. Its taste is quite spicy, more so than many other mustard greens, and it has a hearty, crunchy stem. I often see it used in Korean cuisine, particularly when making gat kimchi, basically kimchi style mustard greens. It's also good in stir fries if you enjoy a bit of heat. Next, we have Osaka purple mustard. This is a striking Japanese mustard variety known for its broad, ruffled leaves with a deep purple hue on top and green undersides. In addition to its visually stunning appearance, Osaka purple mustard packs a spicy punch that's stronger than many other mustard greens. Osaka purple is very similar to the jeogat that I showed you, but there is a difference. The plant overall is much smaller in size, staying around 12 to 18 inches in height, so I recommend it for smaller gardens. This variety works well in salads if you enjoy a bit of extra heat, or you can stir fry it to mellow the spice. It's also popular for pickling, adding both color and flavor to any dish. Next, I have a really unique vegetable called Seltus. A lot of people think it's a type of celery, but it's not at all related to celery. It is closer to lettuce. Think of it as a lettuce that grows a thick, long stem, similar in texture to a broccoli stem instead of leaves. Seltus is grown to eat its stem, not the leaves. The stem has a mild nutty flavor and a crisp texture similar to a broccoli stem. The leaves can also be eaten, but the main attraction is the crunchy stalks that grow right in the center. You can see it right here. It is popular in Chinese cuisine, especially stir-fried with garlic and a bit of chili. You can also peel and thinly slice the stem to enjoy it in raw salads. Lastly, I want to talk about huntasai, if I'm saying that correctly, sometimes also referred to as flowering purple cabbage or purple choy sum. I already harvested the huntasai from my garden, so I'm going to show you some B-roll of what it looks like. It is a beautiful Asian green that produces edible purple stems and yellow flowers. Think of it as a mini form of Chinese broccoli or gailan. Its vibrant purple color and delicate yellow blossoms make it as ornamental as it is tasty. The flavor is lightly sweet with a hint of mustard. The entire plant is edible from the stems to the flowers. I love it lightly sauteed or added to soups just before serving to preserve the color and crispness. Growing these Asian greens has greatly increased the types of greens that I'm able to grow in my garden, all while diversifying the types of vegetables that I consume. Each variety has its own personality, its flavor, texture, and best uses in cooking. By trying out something new, you open yourself up to a whole world of exciting dishes and fresh homegrown produce. If you found this video helpful, please give me a big thumbs up. That helps out my channel more than you know, and consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my gardening tutorials. I would love to know in the comments which of these Asian greens is your favorite and what recipes you like to make with them. Thank you so much for watching and happy gardening.